Hi, today we'll discuss about the list data structure of Python. List is a collection of items in a specific order, and square brackets are used to indicate our list. So we use square brackets to define our collection of the items, and individual items in the lists are separated by comma. The important thing to note here is that the lists are mutable objects. So you can change or modify the elements of a list. Let's now go into defining a list. So a list is a collection of items in a particular order, and here I have defined a list which has four elements. It is it's a list of different bicycle types. So track, canodale, red line, specialized. And this list I'm assigning to the variable bicycles, and then I try to print this list, and the list gets printed. So all of these elements are strings separated by comma. Okay. So I have defined these strings, and then I print these lists. And then in the next example, I try to take the elements of the list of different types. Now, a list can contain elements of different types. So here I have the first element to be a string, the second one to be an integer, the third is a floating point, and the fourth is a boolean. So this list is defined, assigned to the variable list2, and it gets printed. Now, coming to accessing the elements of a list, you can access the individual elements of a list as well. And the idea or the way to access the individual elements is by using the square brackets and the index of the element you want to access. In this example, I am defining the different cereal types as a list. So these are all strings: wheat, jowar, bajra, gram, and ragi. Then I in the next line, I have to define a particular index to access a individual element. Okay. So cereals, so you would have the name of the list followed by in the square brackets the index. Okay. The indexing begins from 0. So the first element of the list would have the index 0. The second index would have the element would have the index 1. And likewise, if there are n elements in the list, so the last element would be having the index n minus 1. Okay. So here, since this list has five elements, so wheat would have the index 0, jowar having the index 1, bajra the index 2, gram the index 3, and the last element, ragi, would be having the index n minus 1, which is 4. Okay. So now to access any specific element, you use the square brackets, and then in the square brackets, you mention the index. So here I'm mentioning 0 because I want to access the first element. And I use this title function of the uh, string to make the case as to convert it to title case. So here the first letter is capitalized. Then to access the fourth element, let's say, or maybe the last element, we would say, I would use cereals, and in the square brackets, I would use 4. Okay. You can also use negative indexing. So negative indexing indexes from the end. Okay, so -1 would refer to the last element, -2 the second last, and -3 then follow. So -1, if I mention, I would again be accessing the last element, which is ragi. Okay. Here in this example, again in this print function, I am creating a f string. Okay, so in this f string, I can replace a variable name with its value. That variable name should be enclosed in curly braces. Now, which is the variable whose value I would like to replace? It is the third index of the list cereals. Okay, so cereals and the square brackets, and inside the square brackets, 3 is passed. Okay, so here the at the third index I have gram. So gram would be replacing here. Okay, so when I print it, the string is printed with the variable replaced by its value gram. Now, since I discussed that these lists are mutable, so we can modify or change the elements of the list. So here in this example, I define a list of motorcycle brands: Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki. Okay, I print this list. Okay, so it gets printed. and then I try to modify the first element of this list. First element has the index 0. So motorcycles index 0 is assigned the value Ducati. So it was Honda initially, and then it is replaced with Ducati string. So when I print this, I have this replacement here. Okay, the same list of motorcycles, but the index 0 is replaced. So from Honda to Ducati. You can also replace a range of values. Okay. So to specify the range, you have to specify the start index and the end index. And as you may know, that you take into consideration the start index, but you skip the end index. Okay. So the elements from the start index till the end index -1 is considered. So here I am passing the range from 1 to 3. So 3 would not be included, 1 and 2 would be included. So these two elements would be replaced. Now, who would be replacing these two elements? A new list. That list would be consist of three elements: Bajaj, Hero, and Honda. Okay, so this list of three elements would be replacing these two items. Now, after the replacement, what is the scenario? The motorcycle now has four elements. Okay, Ducati, Bajaj, Hero, and Honda. So the last two elements, Yamaha and Suzuki, were replaced by these three items. Okay, so finally this list has four items. Now you can also add the elements to the list, adding the elements at the end. First, we would consider how to add at the end. For that, we have a specific method which is append. Let's see it. Okay. So I'm using this Jupyter notebook, and motorcycles, I define a variable which is assigned a list consisting of three items: Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki. Each of these are strings. Okay. This is printed, and then I add the element in the end. That element is added with the method append. Okay. So motorcycles, which is the name of the list, dot. Now dot operator says that use this method append over the list motorcycles. So motorcycles dot append, and then you pass the argument the item that you want to append. Okay. So I pass Ducati as the argument. So this item is added at the end of this list motorcycles. So initially it had three items. Now after adding Ducati, it has four items. Okay. Again, the same thing. I again define the variable motorcycles and assign it empty list, and then keep on appending these elements: Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, one by one I add. Okay, so I have the same results. Now that is about the append function, which appends at the end of the list or adds the element at the end of the list. Now consider, if you would, how would you be adding the element at any specific position inside the list? So we have the insert method for that. Now insert method takes two arguments. The first is the index or the offset of the position where you would like to insert the element, and then the actual element or item that you would like to insert. Okay, so this is the same thing. Motorcycles very list is currently having these three elements: Honda, Yamaha, and Suzuki. Okay, so these three elements are there in the list. Now I want to add a new element at the 0th index. Okay, so at the beginning I want to add basically, and the item that I want to add is Ducati. Okay, so insert element would have these three elements. So motorcycle dot insert, and these two elements are passed as the argument. Okay, and then I'm trying to print this list. So Ducati is added in the beginning of the list because the index was 0. Okay, now if I would like to add any element at the end of the list, so I can define the last index. Okay, so this list has 4 items presently. The last item has the index 3. So to add in the end, you would use the index 4 and then the item you would like to add. Okay. So this gets added. I am adding Bajaj in the end, so Bajaj gets added. Then removing the element from the list. The next topic. To remove the elements from a list, we have 2 methods. Let's first discuss the delete method. Okay. So if you know the position of the item you want to remove from the list, you can use the del method. Okay. So del method would be used if you know the position or the index of the item that you want to remove. Okay. So let's suppose I want to remove the first element, the first element in the list. So I would use motorcycles, square brackets, 0. So inside the brackets, 0. So this item I would like to delete. So del method would be used. So how to use it? Del and then the item that you would like to delete. So this is the syntax. Okay, and then to print the new list after the deletion of the item, use the print statement. Let's see what happens. So it prints the list. Okay, now the first item which was Ducati. This was the original list: Ducati, Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, Bajaj that we had there. And from this, the Ducati was got deleted using the del method. So del is a built-in function of the Python. So now these are the remaining items which gets printed here. Okay. To delete the last element, you can specify the negative indices. Okay. So motorcycles, square brackets inside it -1. So Bajaj would get deleted because it is the last element. Let's see it in action. Removing an item using the pop method. Okay, so pop method is used to remove the last element from the list. Okay. Let's see how it works. So I have this list of some delicious breakfasts: upma, idli, poha, dosa, and uttapam. Okay, these are Indian delicacies that we usually serve in the breakfasts. Okay. So now the uh, pop method removes the last item in a list and also returns that item so that we can use it somewhere in our code. Okay, so this is one advantage of the pop method if I want to delete the last item as well as to use it somewhere in our code. Okay, so here breakfast.pop. Again, this dot operator means apply this pop method over the list defined by this variable breakfast. Okay, so breakfast.pop. Okay, so which item it would delete? It would delete Uttapam. Okay, and it would also return this item, so you can save it in a variable. So today is equal to breakfast.pop. So it means today we are going to be served Uttapam. Okay, so print breakfast. It prints the new list after deleting this last item, and then I also print this today's breakfast item, which is stored in the variable today. So let's see in action. So Utpam gets splitted and this new list gets printed, and also which is thing that is printed is the contents of the variable today. Okay, which is the item you just deleted. Okay. Now you can also define pass to this pop method the index that you would like to index of the item that you would like to delete. Okay, so let's say you want to delete the first item. Okay, so you would pass the index 0. So first item is equal to breakfast.pop, and in the index you pass the 0. Okay, so and then again this breakfast list is again printed. So pop this upma is removed from here, and this upma basically was the first element, so it gets removed, and then you can print this. This was saved in the variable first item. So when I print this first item, this gets printed here. So this is how it works. Okay, I ran it twice, so it's again this idli gets deleted. Okay. Now removing item by value. Okay, if you do not know the index and you just want, you know, the actual value of the item that you would like to delete, you can use the remove method as well. Okay, so if we only know the value of the item we want to remove, you can use the remove method. Remove only deletes the first occurrence from the list. Okay, so if the item has multiple occurrences, it would only delete the first occurrence. So again, coming to the motorcycles example. So here I am defining this list of 4 motorcycle brands: Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, and Ducati. In this list, and then I try to remove Ducati. Now I do not know where the Ducati is, so I just use the remove method motorcycles dot remove. So apply this remove method over the variable motorcycles, which is actually a list, and I say that remove the uh, remove the item Ducati. Okay, so it gets first occurrence of this item would be deleted. Okay, so now when I print this list again, so I get these 3 variables: Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, Ducati was the last elements got deleted. Now, if you want to check whether an item is present in the list, you can use the in keyword. Okay, so Bajaj in motor. So I have this list: Honda, Yamaha, Suzuki, Ducati. Okay, now I would like to check whether this string Bajaj is an item in this list or not. So I would just say Bajaj in motorcycles, and it would return a Boolean value. If the Bajaj is present in this list, it would return true. Otherwise, it would return false. So let's try to execute it. So it returns false. You can also use not in. Okay. So Bajaj actually is not in present in the motorcycles. So it is returning true. Okay. Now we'll discuss one more thing, which is about concatenating and combining the lists. Okay. So adding 2 lists together can be done by the plus variable as well. Okay. So here these 2 lists are there. The first list contains these 3 items: 4, none, and foo. And the second list contains these 3 items: 7, 8, and the tuple, which has 2 variables, 2 values, 2 and 3. So when you concatenate it using the plus, a new list is created, composing the items from these 2 lists and assigned to the variable my list. Okay, so my list is equal to this thing, and when I try to print this my list, this new list gets printed. If a list is already defined and you want to add elements to the list, you can use the extend method. Okay, so here this list is already defined. You can use this extend method, okay, to add the elements to this list. So all of these 3 elements would be appended in the end. Okay, so this is another way to extend or concatenate 2 lists. So first list is already defined. The second list is concatenated in the end. Okay, the same code would work. Same would be the result. Now, another thing to note here is that the list concatenation by addition is a comparatively expensive operation. Okay, because basically what is happening, a new list is being created from the 2 already existing lists. Okay, so and the elements of both of the lists are actually being copied to the new listing. So it's a comparatively an expensive operation. Okay, and then in comparison to the extend method. Okay, so extend method actually just add those items to the already existing list. So it is comparatively faster. Okay, so this is basically what we like to convey. Okay, so you are basically extending this list. Okay, so this is basically a faster way to concatenate than to use the plus operation. Now coming to the sorting, this thing we also discussed. So there are basically 2 operations which we use to solve the list. The first one is sort method and the another one is sorting. What is the difference between them? The sort method does in place sorting. Okay, so it basically changes permanently, permanently changes or sorts the list. So sort method does in place sort. Okay, sorted method does not change the uh, present list. It creates a new list. Okay, with the sorted order. So use sorted method to get a sorted order without affecting the list. So it does not affect the previous list. It creates a new list. Okay, with the sort elements in sorted order. So this one example we would see here. Cars is equal to it has these four items: BMW, Audi, Toyota, and Mahindra. Okay, if you do cars dot sort and you print cars, so the this is basically affecting the original list. Okay, so if you just run this, so you would see that this list gets modified. Okay, so it permanently changes or sorts a list. You can also pass the sort the elements in the reverse order. So you can just have to specify reverse equal to true. Okay, so it would perform the sorted in the reverse order. So previously it did in the alphabetically increasing order. Now it do the reversal. So Toyota comes first, then Mahindra, then BMW, then so the order is reversed actually, descending order you would say. You can also sort according to some other parameter. Okay, so here basically we are sorting based on their alphabetical sequence or their dictionary sequence. So the word which comes first in the dictionary would be placed first. Okay. Now, you may not like to sort this way. You may say that I would like to sort according to the length of the string. So you can just pass this len function as an argument to the this parameter key. So key is equal to len. Okay, so key is a parameter which is defined for this sort method. And if you pass this the function, which is this len is a predefined function that you are passing as an argument. So the sorting would happen according to the outcome of this len man function. So the strings basically are compared according to their length, and the shorter string would be placed first, and the longer string would be placed later in the sorted order. Okay, so and then for this example, I'm applying this reverse function as well. So what would happen actually? The longer strings would be placed initially, and the smaller strings would be placed later in the string. So let's try to execute this code. So Mahindra, it's the largest string, so it is the first one, and then Toyota, then Audi, then the smallest one is BMW, then it comes in the end. Then let's think about sorting using the sorted method. Sorted method does not change the original string. It creates a original list. It creates a new list actually. Okay. So this is the original list. Okay. We apply this sorted function. So it creates a new list. Okay. In the sorted order. But now here again, when I try to sort, when I try to print this original list, okay, when I try to print the original list is the same. So the contents of the original lists are not affected. Sorted sorted method creates a new list, and the contents of that new list are in the sorted order. Okay. So this is all for the today's session. Thank you everyone for joining.